What's up, guys? Wade Willis here for my playthrough of Umineko. We're in episode 4, and I believe this is like part 7. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's really started picking up, but in a different way. We haven't even really dove into the loop of things on the island. It's just all really going into Ainge and who she is, and kind of these backstories of her, and we're learning that she actually used to have some magical abilities. I'm really excited to see why she stops using magic. I think that's going to be something very important and significant, but I could be wrong. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video if you like it. And yeah, let's see what happens. Three, two, one, go.
では、作太郎の雨竜からスタートで、この場合、何からになるの？竜？竜？
雨竜からなんだろうね。
I honestly don't even know what the hell they're talking about right now,
やっ
but
ぱり竜？
they try to name someone?
こんなおかしな語尾の単語が出てくるなんてめったにないし。
じゃあ私が一番。竜から行くね。時計のネジの竜図。
私が一番に言いたかったのに。竜との方が素敵。
What are they? I'm sorry, I totally forgot about.
なんだかさっきから難しいのばっかりね。
Oh, they're doing the thing where they continue the words. Okay.
というか、順番どうなってるの？次は誰？
雨竜、誰でもいいと思うよ。思いついた人順でいいよ。何それ、面白いね。いっぱい言えた人が勝ち？早口しりとりだね。じゃあ私行くね。
Random.
ズッキーニ、ニンニク炒め、メカブのパスタ。どれも美味しそう。3つもいっちゃった。
Gluttony.
ベルゼ3点獲得っと。接続詞はありなのか？のがありになったら何でもありに
Yeah,
なっちゃ
that's.
うわ。
I agree with that.
最後のはダメよ。1点減点。目からよ。
じゃあマリアね。メレンゲ。ゲ？雨
下水道。
It's so weird.
埋め立て地。地下室。
Okay.
ざっとこんな感じ？
How do you like them apples?
お姉様、なんだか品のない単語ばっかり。何よ。じゃあ品のいい単語。とにかく私3点ね。次はつよ、つ。
That's not as hard
こ
in
んな変な
Japanese.
しりとり初めて。面白い。雨竜。全然わかんないけど面白い。雨竜。
I played normal Shitori before, but I've never experienced a Shitori this weird. There's only the lively seven sisters, Maria, Nichan, Sakutaro, and me. And I'm now surrounded with friends that are so fun to be with. The courage to accept a world of magic, a world of witches. That alone didn't change the fact that I was still locked up in an academy, without a single friend in my class. But despite that, I'm able to have such a fun and lively time. Also, I'm also able to become a witch like Maria. And someday I'll add my family to this fun circle. Dad, Mom, and Oni-chan. And if possible, George and Jessica. And the other relatives. I'll call everyone here without a single person missing, and we'll all gather together.
それが私の夢。そうよ。私はそれを叶えるまで絶対にくじけない。園児様はきっと大魔女になられます。あなたがそうだと信じるだけで。我ら煉獄の七姉妹はその日まで常におそばにお仕えするでしょう。いてくれる？いつまでも私の力になってくれる？当然。だって私園児様の友達じゃないですか。ええ、そうね。常に全員揃ってみんなで遊びましょう。今もこれからもずっと園児様が夢を叶えられる日まで。
A lively 10-person game of Shitori, alongside with a street cut off from time under the constantly bright rays of the sun, could have been continued forever. But it didn't.
マジほんと。どういうわけ？後宮さん。
In the end, I wasn't able to get a very good grade on my tests. I tried memorizing things my own way. But if you could manage anything by cramming the night before a test, no one would ever worry about tests. Well, that's fair.
あらかじめ問題が分かってたら、普通楽勝じゃない？楽勝。
さすがの私たちも空欄に答えまでは書き込みませんでしたわ。その程度はお勉強してくれると信じてましたから。
なにこれ？ちょっと、マジこれ信じらんない。ほとんどダメじゃない。あんた、本当にちゃんと予習したわけ？
一応。
一応ってレベルじゃありませんことよ、後宮さん。ここまでひどいと私、めまいすらしそうですわよ。おお、神よ。こんな簡単なテストすら無残な成績を残し、クラス全体の平均点をガタ落ちさせる彼女を、どうか、お許
Who the hell is this? The same test had been given in another class first. That test paper had been obtained, so the average score for our class had been unusually high, even to obscure my slight improvement. However, there were some things I had no excuse for. If I'd spent that entire day studying like mad, I might have been able to get a slightly higher score. But I hadn't gone that far. After that on that day, I spent the whole time having fun playing Shitori with Seven Sisters, Sakatoro, and One-chan. As expected, the winner had been Maria. She was a strong player to her wide knowledge of trivia. Sakatoro had gotten the punishment game. He spent the whole time cheering for everyone else's answers, completely forgetting to think of any himself. Because of that, he'd been squished by the Seven Sisters and had his ears thoroughly nibbled, hadn't he?
ねえ、聞いてる？後宮さん。
They were surrounding me, twittering like small birds. They were annoying, smelly. On the outside of that circle was Maman, an exasperated expression on her face.
相変わらずおかしな学校ね。自分の成績が良かったなら万々歳じゃないの？
That is kind of
連
weird.
帯責任とやらのせいでしょ。 彼女らにとって自分の成績がどうこうじゃなくて、クラスの平均点が低くて恥ずかしい方が問題なのよ。あるいは、その結果、罰則として与えられる奉仕活動が嫌で仕方ないのかもしれない。
それってつまり、成績を良くしたいから勉強してるとかじゃなくて、連帯責任や奉仕活動が嫌だから勉強してるって意味？
妬ましくて恥ずかしいのよ。誰かより劣りたくない。恥ずかしめられたくない。そんな気持ちだけが彼女らを勉強に駆り立ててる。勉強がしたければ勝手にすればいい。
Interesting they haven't shown a single of these kids' faces yet.
つまるところ、連帯責任も奉仕活動もなければ、彼女らは勉強などする気もないわけだ。
It's kind of sad that's their only reason to want to study is they don't want to do volunteer work. Or like
意味も知らず勉強する
have
こ
a
と
lower
も
grade than the other
なん
class.
と愚かしいことか。
しかし、本当にこいつらはうるさくてエンジェ様の貴重な昼の一時を邪魔するなと言うのに。
おい、早くどっか行っちゃえ！お腹すいた！早く消えちゃえ！
ごめんね、みんな。人間ってのは、どうしてここまで浅ましいのかしらね。
自分で努力するより、園児様に努力させる方が楽で強欲に平均点を稼げるってことでしょ？人間なんてみんな強欲。そしてより楽なようにそれを強いる。こいつらとはやがて煉獄の山で再会するわ。第五感を抜けるときはせいぜい己が足元に注意することね。
Mama controls the fifth terrace of the mountain that reaches the Mount Purgatory. Since she's saying this, you can probably be sure that after those girls die, their journey to heaven won't be an easy one. No, on the contrary, let them just fall into hell. The class committee went to the student council and applied to use the classroom during lunch. And after school. The purpose was for a class study group. A wonderful little gathering that they could all surround me and make me study. I'm so grateful I could cry. Which meant that every day all of my lunch and 3 hours of my afternoon would be stolen. The academy and its student council, with its theme as student self-government, instantly approved this pleasant activity that students were taking up on their own initiative. In other words, I was no longer able to escape after school by leaving the classroom. After school, the first study group meeting started right away. Would they open a textbook, then kindly carefully explain so that I could understand it? Of course, it didn't turn out like such a naive illusion. After school in the classroom, dozens of my classmates crowded around my desk. First, before we started studying, why were my grades so bad? What was the reason? It was decided that we couldn't start until I could clearly answer those questions, become aware of the problem, and show my regret for my actions. Jesus. Of course, there's no way for me to respond when asked a question like that. They've loathed me all this time, and they've rejected me and kept me at a distance, preventing me from joining in on their community. So I've avoided their community myself. There shouldn't have been any conflict for either of us that way. See, this is so interesting because this whole dynamic, I don't think it would happen there's bullying in America, but it's different. Like, you don't really care about the rest of your class's grades because America's so individualistic, and like Japan's so collectivist. Like, it's interesting for me to see that this would be a dynamic, because I honestly could never picture this in America, where like the grade of your whole class like matters so much. Maybe there's some outliers, but I just generally, you're like pumped if someone gets a bad grade because you did so much better than them. Not that that's a good way to think, but so even in this group that was enthusiastic about raising the class average, they obviously kept me at a distance. Even if I tried to join in, they would probably ignore me like they always did in the past.
言ってくれれば私たちいくらでも教えてあげたよ。ね
Probably not. Oh my gosh, that's obnoxious. Can't you just send the Seven Sisters on him? I would not mind if there was Umineko in this school of her killing these annoying kids. They suck. They were getting themselves all worked up. I've already had enough of the hypocrisy of their tacked-on excuses.
後ろ宮さんの悪いところはね、協調性がないところなのよ。
This is obnoxious.
自分さえ良ければいいって思ってる。その考えがいけないのよ。
セールチーヤの学び屋に集う者は協調の心を持つように。ちゃんと生徒手帳にも明記されてましてよ。
協調性があれば
If someone's quoting the student handbook to me, they're about to get smacked with the student
クラス
handbook.
全体に貢献するために一緒にお勉強しようという意思も生まれると思うの。そここそが後ろ宮さんにお勉強以前に欠けている部分だと思うんだけど、どう思うかしら？
ねえ、さっきから私たちの話を聞いてる？
I'm tuning him
あ
out.
なたのために私たちはわざわざ放課後に残ってこうしてお話ししているのよ。
It's important that it's bolded there, because it is not really for her sake, it's for theirs. I'm so grateful I could cry. Of course they didn't like that. This way, it almost make it look like we're bullying you. They reprimanded me. Fortunately, I'm normally all cried out anyways. That's not proper English. If I'm told not to cry, I can hold it back. First, I was made to write a letter of remorse and read it out loud. Oh, Jesus Christ. Of course, this was to be done by today. Oh. I could bullshit that pretty easily. The class committee politely applied to the student council room and the staff room for an extension on the use of the classroom. I feel like she's gonna get, like, actually hazed. It seems it was accepted right away, which means that starting now I'll be forced into self-criticism for at least a five-fold... Oh, Jesus. Ushiromi Ainge got a low score on her test, and it caused trouble for her classmates.
違うでしょ？
Are they
成
hitting
績が
her?
低くて迷惑をかけたってのは根本じゃないでしょ？
協調性でしょ、協調性。
もう。
This is the weirdest bullying
な
I've
んで
ever...
後ろ宮さんの反省文の書き方まで私たちが指導しなくちゃならないのよ。
Their abusive jeers flew about one after another. I guess I could see this in sports more so than school. Because sometimes when you're in a team sport, someone messes up and then you all get in trouble for it. But this is interesting for school. I followed their directions at a race that Ushirami Ainge didn't have the cooperative attitude and caused trouble for her classmates. Place. Good place, good girl.
ねえ、ちょっと私たちが言ったのをそのまま書いても意味ないのよ。
Oh my god.
あんた
This is the
反省
weirdest
って意味分かってんの？
hazing I've ever...
自分の言葉で書かなくちゃ意味がないじゃない。自分の言葉で書か
I
な
feel like
くち
it's
ゃ。
gonna get worse. It has
後
to.
ろ宮さんってちょっと不思議な子だなって思ってたけど、やっぱり変わってるよね。
Even following their directions didn't change the jeers much, and now it felt like they were mocking me even more. For several more hours without rest, without even being allowed to go to the bathroom, much less dinner, I was continuously abused. I was coerced into writing a paragraph that humiliated myself. Like, stuff like this is like how suicide happens. You know what I mean? This type of bullying where you just belittle someone. At about 9 that night, I was told to stand up and read it out loud. The contents were smeared black with tears and eraser marks. It certainly was my handwriting, but it was like a list of soulless letters. Those contents I couldn't even remember. Everything had been copied down according to their orders, so while I had been the one to write the letters, they weren't my words. I'd been coerced into writing them down, and even coerced into reading them aloud. Even after all this time, I was surprised to learn that beyond just ignoring people and hiding their things, there are other ways to bully people. Good place, good girl.
ほら早く読み上げ後ろ宮さんのためにこれだけの人間がこんなに
Yeah,
遅
they're
くまで
like
付き合ってるのよ
getting off punishing
少
her.
しは感謝したら
Oh my god, these people.
そこで感謝の気持ちが湧かないという時点でもう協調性がかけらほどもないのよね。
See, I'd rather get like punched or like beat up than like go through
大丈夫
5 hours of
後ろ宮さん。
this bullshit and then have to read a letter. That's just me. I'm like, this is...
これからは私たちがいつも一緒にいてあげるから
Yeah, fucking right.
一緒にお勉強して生まれ変わりましょうね
As I stood by my seat surrounded by them, I dropped my gaze toward the blackened page, and then I spoke those humiliating words. But right away, jeers flew at me, saying that they couldn't hear me and to speak up. I can't read it. I had no idea that being forced to read a paragraph humiliating me would be so painful. My throat shook. My fingertips shook. The paragraph of humiliation, written in my own handwriting, made my eyes burn with hot liquid. My words were blurred and twisted. I saw the girls surrounding me twist and bend. I saw them twist and bend into the impression I had of them. In other words, that was my true field of vision. Beyond that twisted crowd of people, I could see my friends. Compassion could be seen in all of their eyes.
エンジェしっかりウリュウ
Uri and Sakataro were looking at me with sad eyes. Probably because they realized that even cheap words of compassion would hurt me. They kept alternating between trying to say something and hanging their heads.
なんなのよこいつら最低のやつら
I completely agree.
腹渡が煮えくり返るわよエンジ様を寄ってたかってなぶり物にして何が楽しいわけ
妬ましくても吐き出せないエンサ誰でもいいのよ吐き出せればね最低のやつらエンジェ様ここはご自身の名誉のために怒り狂うことが許される場面です怒りは正当な感情で正当な反応ここで怒らなかったらどこで怒るんですか
やめなさいよ
Yeah.
安っぽくエンジェ様を怒らせないでそれ
I
が
mean,
で
you're
きたら
kind
も
of
うやっ
like,
てる
you're
わ
so
よエンジェ
screwed
様
in
は
this situation because you're stuck at this
怒
school.
って状況が改善できるならそうすべきだ。だが、客観的に判断して、それはますますに状況を悪化させるだけだろう。屈辱的だが、今は耐えるのが賢明だ。
I would just study hard after this. Because I don't think
さ
she's
すがベルメネー
stupid.
は怠惰やってます。
ふざけないでよ。私は耐えられない。こいつらが許せない。
みんな騒がないで。エンジェの負担になっちゃうよ。
負担？何言ってんのよ。ここは騒ぐところでしょ。
Well, now I can kind of
私たち
see
家具は
she's gonna push them
主が
away, I
侮辱され
guess.
ているのを
Because
見て
she needs
冷
to
静でいられるほど残酷じゃない。
study or something.
エンジェ様、そんな侮辱の文章を読む義務はありません。
Yeah, the letter thing's just so extra.
怒りの声を上げられないなら、せめてその屈辱の文面を床に叩きつけて。
Good place to go.
口汚く罵らなくていい。のけぞらせるほどの大声を上げなくていい。ただ渾身の力でそのノートを床に叩きつけて。それだけのことでエンジェ様は強い意志を示すことができる。
I don't think that's gonna do anything.
勝手なことを言わないで。
I wonder if they would.
言ってるでしょ。
I expected her to be like more physically bullied, but
そ
I
れ
mean
がで
maybe
きる
it'll
もんな
get to
ら
that.
エンジェ様だってとっくにや
But
ってる。
I did not expect it.
一時の感情の爆発は
This
何も
honestly
解
did
決しない。
surprise me.
むしろエンジェ様に対する風当たりを悪くするだけだと、なぜわからん。
I could do without that cry. That's for sure.
エンジェ様は悪くないのに、なんでこんな目に遭うの？夕飯も食べさせてもらえないで、放課後からずっとこんななんて嫌。
今夜だけじゃないわ。今日も明日も明後日も。いい加減にしてこんな屈辱耐えられない。
ねえ、私たちの話、本当に聞こえてる？
Someone tugged at my hair. Oh, now they're getting physical. I was torn back into real reality. I was no longer even permitted to listen to the Seven Sisters speaking on behalf of my heart. In my heart, sorry. My hair was lifted upwards, and one of my hair ornaments came off, and I could hear the sound of it rolling on the ground. No one picked it up. To the contrary, they casually avoided it as though it was something filthy rolling towards them. I tried to follow with my eyes, but my hair was tugged upward again. Oh, is this her?
なんで私たちがこんなに真剣に話してるのに、いつも聞いてないわけ？
右の耳から左の耳ってやつ？それとも馬の耳に念仏かしら？あんたいい加減にしてよね。
I just gotta say, for those of you that watch Higurashi, or in particular have seen Higurashi go, what she's going through at this school seems worse than what Satoko had to go through. That's just me, though.
私たち全員に迷惑かけてるって自覚、本気であるの？私たちに言われてるからいやいや書いたとか言い出すんじゃないでしょうね。
あんたが本当に自分の意思で反省できるまでマジで終わんないからね。今日だけじゃないよ。明日も明後日もマジで続くからね。あんまり舐めてんじゃないわよ。
Yeah, Satoko got like imprisoned at the school, but it was like for pulling a prank that could have killed someone.
つう
So
かさ、なんでまだ生きてんの？
I don't know. That's just me.
生きてられる？普通。私なら死んじゃうね。
生きてられないよね。だってさ、生きてるだけで迷惑かけてるだけでしょ？私だったら絶対に生きてられない。
うんうん。私だったら死ぬね。その方が世の中のためになるなら、すぐにでも死んじゃうよ。ねえ。
じゃあ、死んでよ。
園児様？
こいつら全員、今すぐ殺してよ、あんたたち！ルシファー、聞こえた？
I don't know if they're gonna accept that.
あんたたち煉獄の七姉妹は、人間なんかあっという間に皆殺しにできるすごい核なんでしょ？あんたら、いつも私にそう自慢していたわ。
Imagine if the girls in that room literally heard everything she was saying to the Seven Sisters.
ならやって！今すぐこいつらを皆殺しにして！
I'm surprised it took her this long.
今すぐこの場で！
それは。
For some reason, Lucifer hesitated.
なんで？どうしてよ！目にも止まらぬ速度で飛び回って、魔女の敵の心臓を即座に貫く必殺の家具でしょ？そしてそれを、主である私が命じてる！今すぐ実行しなさい！
Maria's probably not letting her do it,
殺
right?
して！こいつらをみんな殺せ！エンジェ様！
Or she doesn't have the power.
落ち着いて。
Oh, they actually care about her. They don't want her to... If they had immediately followed my brutal order, making heaps of corpses with me at the center, I was ready to reflect on my own reckless actions of stealing a human life so readily, ready to regret and repent, just as they all had wanted me to. I was prepared to do that. And yet, Lucifer just let an unsure expression rise to her face and didn't move to carry out my order. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. Vaguely. No, that's not right. I've known from the beginning. I've known that magic was all empty this whole time, haven't I? I guess you could look at it that way, or you could look at it in a positive way that they actually care about her and don't want her
何
to,
が煉獄の七姉妹よ。
to change.
くだらない。くだらない。私、最初から知ってたんだから。
エンジェ様。
I glared into the worthless Lucifer's eyes, and pain seemed to accompany that gaze. As though she was being assaulted with a violent headache, Lucifer grasped her head with both arms, but it looked like she couldn't tear her eyes off my gaze, so she was assaulted with a pain that grew more and more violent. Well, she's just like taking away the magic.
役立たずが。役立たずが。あんたなんて大嫌い！
Well, that's not really fair.
消えてしまえ！あんたなんて所詮、私の中の妄想じゃない！
Well, hopelessness and disappointment, resignation and a dream's end. A cracking sound like you'll hear from a frozen lake's surface during a fierce winter rang out just once. At the same time, Lucifer's form, which was being tormented by violent pain, stiffened in place and grew cloudy. It was just almost as though a beautifully polished glass window had been heartlessly smashed and turned white from the countless fissures. And that was an accurate analogy. At some point, Lucifer's form had turned into a glass ornament of the same shape. Countless fissures ran through it from the inside, and the head and arms collapsed. It crumbled onto the floor.
知女は誰？レビアタン？私の命令を実行して、今すぐにこいつらを皆殺しにして！
いや、その、どうか、お気を沈めてお聞きください。私たちは、
Or maybe Beatrice is preventing him? I mean, it could just all be her imagination too, so, I mean, but I'm just trying to look at it in different ways. I'm not looking for excuses or backtalk or an answer. I want nothing more than swift confirmation of my order to eradicate the girls who are humiliating me. If you're going to say anything else, there's no need for me to listen until the end. Good place. After Leviathan also turned white due to countless cracks throughout her whole body. She fell over backwards, slipping into separate parts, along her neck, hips, and arms. If she'd been smashed into bits and lost her original form, it probably wouldn't have seemed so brutal. So seeing two of them halfway left over a remaining half made the remaining younger sister shake even harder.
どうして私の命令を聞いてくれないの？
I'm sure these are hints for me and us for the
ど
future.
うしてよ！
恐れながら現在のこの場は反魔法力が
Oh,
非常に強く
that is a lot of people. That's fair.
何よそれ。人間がいるからダメってどういう理屈？
We get to single out
人間を
humans.
殺すのがあんたたちの役目でしょ？それができないならあんたたちは何のための家具なのよ。死ね！
Like all the deaths. Well, not necessarily, but
お許しください。エンジェ様。
come on, Ange. As she clutched her head with both arms, Satan also turned white and fell down face first. Apparently the neck is no slender part after all. Her head slid off and rolled up to Belphegor's feet.
人間が多いからダメなの？じゃあ私が後でこいつらを一人ずつ物陰に呼び出せたなら、
Well, that's
あんた
a,
たちはきっちり全員を血祭りにできるというの？
okay, that's a fair...
現在のエンジェ様の魔力では私たちと会話する
that's
程
also
度の価値かし
another...
この場にいる全ての人間の前で権限するにはまだまだ魔力の錬成が足りません。
Well, that wasn't her question, was it?
お怒りは深く理解できますが、たとえ我らを攻撃に使えたとしてもこの場の全員を殺害することはかえって状況を悪くするだけです。屈辱的とは思いますが、どうかこの場は怒りを収められて。
Well, she's done. Tough look for Ange right here. I mean, I understand she's getting bullied, but these are her only
あとの3
friends.
人も同じ答えなの？反魔法力が高いからできないっていう？私に魔力が足りないからできないっていう？なら全員を殺せとは言わないわ。
All of them are very fair excuses.
たった一人でいいから殺してみなさいよ。今すぐこの場で。
Yeah, why don't you call the person off to the side? There's so many people at the school, I didn't even think of that though. As Asmodeus and Basilbub held each other, they crouched down, cringing in fear under my glare. And they've been able to obey my order, they probably would have carried it out immediately. And yet, here they were, crouching down. Empty, sad, apathetic. That's right, I've known. These girls can't even touch reality with one of their fingers.
やだ、ベルゼ怖いよ。ベルゼ。エンジ様、許してください。許してください。死にたくない。
死になさいよ、使えない家具。どうして生きてるの？あんたたち。
It's not very nice, Angie.
生きてる価値がないのになんで生きてるわけ？死ねばいいじゃん。死になさいよ。というかむしろ死ね。使い道のない家具を置いとくバカがいると思う？
Damn.
やめてください。
She's even gonna go after Mama.
何？マモン。あなただけは私の命令を遂行してくれるの？
I feel like Momon would like try, but
そうよね。私の一番のお友達だもんね。あなただけはやってくれるわよね。こいつらを。
I feel like Maria should have possibly stepped in here.
今のエンジェ様には私たちを刺激しても 人殺しはできません。主にできることを手伝うのが家具の役目。主にすらできないことを私たちにはすることができない。園児様はこいつらが憎いですか？
Okay, so things even the masters can't do, we can't do. Okay, that
憎いですよ
seems
ね。
pretty important.
殺したくなる気持ちよくわかります。ええ、どうぞ。ならば殺しましょうよ、園児様。園児様自らがその手を血に染めるならば、我ら煉獄の七姉妹どこまでもお供しましょうとも。どこまでも。
私にできないからあんたたちに頼んでるんでしょ。私にできないことをできるからあんたたちは家具なんでしょ。
ええ、家具です。使われてこそ家具です。どうぞ我らを使って殺してください。
She's
殺したのは
trying.
あなたです、園児様。園児様が殺したいと言うならどうぞご自由に。
Interesting. I feel like this is a
た
key,
めらうことはあり
guys.
ません。どうぞ今すぐにそれを実行。そこまでの覚悟が伴って初め、自らの手を汚す覚悟があって初めて。でも園児様はそれに至
I
ってい
see.
ないんです。
Well, this also logically makes sense. If you can't, like, mentally get in the place where you're fine with killing someone, you cannot send your magical beings to do it. Because you yourself are not okay with doing it. I think that, I believe that's what they're saying.
語るな家具が。妄想がもう分かってるわよ。皆まで言わせないでよ。あんたたちには何もできない。あんたたちは所詮私の妄想幻想。
I mean, realistically, yes, but at the same time,
私には
I don't
初
really
めから
find a
友達なんて
flaw
一人もいないわ。
in what they're saying with like how magic works in this.
孤独な私
Like I don't see
心の
how
中に生み出した
you could be like, oh, I need you to
お友
kill
達
this
ごっ
person
この
because I'm too
幻影でし
scared
ょ。
to. I don't know.
知ってたのよ最初から。
へえ、そうですよ。園児様の頭の中の幻想ですけど何か？はい、そうです。私たちは友達のただ一人もいやしない。寂しい園児様の心を慰めるためだけに生み出されたお友達ごっこの脳内妄想。見たければ現実を見るといい。私たちなんか見ないで、あそこで囲まれて罵声を浴びせられているあなたに戻るといい。ほらほら戻りなさいよ。お帰りなさいな現実に。
Interesting.
都合のいい時だけ私たちを呼び出してお友達ごっこで。自分の手を汚す覚悟もないくせにそれをけしかけ、ダメと分かったら否定して消し去る。
Momon is like spitting facts right here. I gotta agree with her in every aspect on this.
ええ、どうぞお楽しみくださいよ。園児様が期待されるような苦悶の声と悲鳴を上げて退場しますとも。園児様がたった今浴びせられている罵声を私たちにも同じように浴びせかけて胸の内をスーッ
I
と
still
さ
like
せればいい
Ainge.
で
I'm
す。
just like pointing out.
それもまた家具の役目。
And believe me, she's getting bullied. This is a tough situation.
ムカ
But
ついて床に叩きつけられること
in
もまた
theory, if the
いつの
Seven
大事なお役
Sisters
目ですから。
are real or her actual friends, you cannot lash out at your only
その
friends
程度のこと
because
で
things are
主
going
の
bad
不機
for
嫌を
you.
一時でも受け止められたなら、家具としてこれほどの栄誉はありません。殺しなさいよ、否定しなさいよ、あなたの最初で最後の友達を。
At the end, Mama had a mocking expression on her face, but for some reason it looked splashed with tears. Mammon, Beelzebub, and Asmodeus were smashed and fell to the floor. Not cool.
ウリュウ。
Poor Sakutaro.
こっちへおいで、サクタロ。今の演者は
A
少し
little.
冷静じゃないだけ。
A little is an understatement, I would
だ
say.
から、近寄っちゃダメだよ。みんなは、七姉妹のみんなは生きてるの？死んじゃったの？大丈夫だよ。とても無残な姿だけど、あれは人間界を強制退去させられて残されたよりしろの残滓。抜け殻だよ。だから大
Interesting.
丈夫。とても傷ついただろうけど、
Okay.
無事だよ。みんな生きてるよ。きっといつかまた会えるよ。ウリュウ、よかった。よかった。
How dare you
エン
make
ジェはマリ
Sakutaro?
アージュ・ソルシエールの条約に違反した。同盟の魔女はお互いを敬い認め合わなくちゃならないのに。こんな日、みんなエンジェの大切なお友達だったのに。
That is an interesting caveat. Okay.
そんな魔女の同盟なんて関係ない。魔法のお友達？いい加減にして。私が殺したわ。消し去った。私が七姉妹を砕け散らせた。
ウリュウ、そんなのひどいよ。
もう、魔女ごっこはいい加減にして。お願いだから。マリアお姉ちゃんも、サクタロも、自ら消えてほしい。
Well, you're gonna be even more isolated because of this.
私が殺して消したなんて。妄想の
And
中ですら
to be honest,
したくないから。
I don't have the most sympathy for you. I like what she went through is horrible,
僕た
but
ちは妄想なんかじゃない
lashing
よ。
out like this, which this is as crazy as it seems, kind of. This kind of lashing out thing is not uncommon for people to actually do. Sakutaro said that he hid behind Maria One-chan sobbing. Sakutaro doesn't exist. Sakutaro is also an imaginary creature One-chan created to distract herself from her loneliness.
ウリュウ、なんで
Well, she's like sucking the life out of you, right?
やめて。私のお友達を否定することだけは許さない。
The same power that had smashed the Seven Sisters was probably eating into Sakutaro well. But Maria was apparently protecting him with some of her other power, so Sakutaro's form didn't break and scatter. One-chan glared at me sharply. It was a serious expression that I'd never seen before.
サクタロは私の家具。エンジェには消せないよ。なのに、否定しようとするのは魔女にとって最大級の侮蔑も同じだよ。
That is another thing that I think is going to be very important.
サクタロなんて、
Well,
最初か
the
ら存在
denying
しない
thing
わ。
has obviously been a common theme throughout, but
ただのライオンのぬいぐるみ。
oh hell no, you didn't just say that.
それをお姉ちゃんが、あたかも存在するかのように脳内で妄想して
そんなことないよ。サクタロはマリアのお友達なの。元はぬいぐるみだけど、今はぬいぐるみじゃないの。
いいえ、ぬいぐるみだわ。布と綿でできたぬいぐるみ。自ら喋れも動きもしない。お姉ちゃんはそれを腹話術みたいにして喋ってるだけじゃない。
How
そ
dare
れが
you!
魔法？それが魔女？それが友達？そんなの
So who's
私は
that
認めない
comedian?
わ。
Is it Jeff Dunham? The guy who does the ventriloquist things?
ウリュウ、僕じゃないの。
Oh, that's not right. Oh, he's getting see-through.
僕はただのぬいぐるみで、本当は喋れなくて。
Is he gonna turn into a stuffed
Maria.
animal?
お友達じゃ、ないの。
As though struck with a high fever, Sakataro weakened bit by bit. As he clung to One-chan's body, he did all he could to continue standing. But his body began to gradually slip down. As he did, One-chan held him, yelling at me as tears streamed down her face.
やめて！ハンマー王の毒でサク太郎を焼かないで！いじめないで！侮辱しないで！否定しないで！マリアお姉ちゃん変なの。サク太郎なんかいないよ。ぬいぐるみはぬいぐるみだもん。布と綿でできてるってママに習ったもん。
Damn.
歩いたり喋ったりなんかできるわけ。
Not cool. Not cool, Ange.
うりゅ。サク太郎
She like cursed him in the past.
ぬいぐるみじゃないもん。ぬいぐるみじゃないもん。友達だもん。
Dang, Angie.
ぬいぐるみ遊びなんかよりみんなでお外で遊ぶ方がいい。
Damn.
ぬいぐるみもう飽きた。
Them are fighting words.
返事なんかもう知らない。なんでそんなこと言うの。嫌い嫌い嫌い嫌い大嫌い。絶好だ絶好だ。もう魔女の仲間になんか入れてあげない。原初の魔女見習いマリアの名において魔女見習いエンジェをマリアージュ・ソルシエール魔女同盟より署名とする。
Good girl. And then, what had been peaceful days to me became a daydream and ended. By now, it's impossible to prove. No one can verify whether that was really magic or whether those were really my friends. Or else, nothing more than a daydream. I, the sole observer, concluded that they were a daydream, so that became the truth. Perhaps in the farther future I'll observe it again, and when that happens, maybe I'll acknowledge that it wasn't a dream, and that the Seven Sisters really were my friends, and that all along, Maria and Sakataro, they did everything they could for me in my isolation. Something so vague is neither the truth nor an illusion. Maybe the reality here is now that the only world with the real me. Where is the real me? Man. The person standing amidst the girl's exposed wreckage that it resembles broken grass sculptures, the girl who's breathing harshly, her shoulders heaving, isn't me. I'm over there. That's me. The me that's surrounded by a crowd being showered by jeers, who's hanging her head, her eyes red. Isn't the real me over there. The real me won't dream anymore, because there's nowhere left to run. I'm going back. I'll return myself into the cage made of flesh.
ねえ、話聞こえてますかしら。いつまでもうつむいていても何の解決にもなりませんわよ。聞こえてるわ。
ああ、やっと返事した。
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. That was a really intense episode. I did not expect to see Ange go down that path. I knew that we would see her, not why she pushed away the Seven Sisters. I just didn't expect it to kind of end up the way it did, and like see her. I mean, I wasn't a fan of her treating them like that, and believe me, I've seen the Seven Sisters kill a lot of people I like in Umineko, but I actually did really enjoy their like friendship and like relationship. I thought it was really cute, and I knew it was not going to continue in a positive fashion, but still, like, you don't like to see it end that way. I was not a fan of the way Ainge treated them, and while I didn't like that, the bullying that she was going through is pretty horrible. You have to admit, and like very like to me, I guess, because like again, I'm from America, and uh, the way they were treating about school was very interesting, and it was just so collectivist. The only time I've really seen like in America where people will treat other people like that and being pissed about them for doing badly is like in a sports, in some type of sport. Um, and like I did wrestling my whole life, and that it's less of a team sport. You still get team points and stuff, but if someone got in trouble, we would like be punished for that kid doing something stupid. And that would be about the only time you would see like everyone on the team be like, "Dude, what the heck?" Um, like, so yeah, it was just very interesting to me seeing that about the school, which we know St. Lucia, at least from what I've seen in Higurashi, is a weird place. So, um, yeah, interesting. I thought it was a very good episode today. I just did I like it? Not really, because I do like Ainge a lot, and I started to really like the Seven Sisters, but it explained a lot more, and I am interested to see where it goes from here now that she's thrown those sisters away. I mean, we know it's not going to be positive for her in this school. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comments below.